You ever play Fallout New Vegas? Yes, sir. Mr. House for the win. He had a vision. Favorite chess player of all time, Nimzowitz. Doctor is going to get a blood sample if you go to the hospital. They can't rely on a CGM. Even if they can't rely on it for clinical applications, you can rely on it for steering applications, because the odds are that while it might be not sensitive or accurate enough for a diagnosis of a disease, it can give you a general direction. It's kind of like a scale. So your scale at home is probably not as accurate as the scale at the doctor's office, probably not as accurate as a DEXA scan, probably not as accurate as even more sophisticated way of looking at body composition. But it's not the case that the scale at home is going to say 150 pounds, but the DEXA scan is going to say 220. They're going to be close to each other, but you get more information and more interesting information, intricate information with the DEXA, like your visceral fat and the extracellular water and these other things that matter, the muscle to fat to ratio, these types of things. So, you look at CGM as a steerer, and then you can start looking at specific questions like, when I eat this food type versus this food type, do I get a substantial spike in my glycemic index? Just like suddenly my insulin go way up and my glucose levels are really high, these types of things. And so, for example, if I go take a spoonful of table sugar versus eating some broccoli, what does this do to my blood sugar and how dramatic is it? And I suspect there's pretty strong genetic and microbiome components to these things. So everybody's different in that respect. And it's entirely possible that somebody could eat a carrot and not have a strong response, and other people eat it and have a much stronger response. And that means a lot, because certain foods that raise those indices, they also tend to raise your ghrelin. They tend to raise a lot of other things. And what that translates to is more hunger, more weight gain, and also more of the macros get converted to fat. And so it's much harder to meet your diet goals in a sense. So CMG, with some cleverness behind it, is a good steering tool to help you figure out metabolically what's going on. It's not a steering tool to diagnose, which is why you have to go deeper and find out more. So as with all tools, it's about how you use the tools.